Christ is risen from the dead, trampling down death by death, and on those in the tombs bestowing life. Christos anesti ec necron thanato, thanaton patisas, getis sentis mnimas isoin charis amenos. Christ is risen from the dead, trampling down death by death, and on those in the tombs bestowing life.
Do your children belong to you or to the state? I was horrified to hear that a teachers' union recently came out with a statement that capitalism was destroying children. This is like directly taken from the Marxist communist view of families, that children ultimately belonged to the state, not to their parents. We see the same philosophy declaring that if a child wants to change their gender and their parents are opposed to it, the child simply tells the teacher, and the teacher will help them and not let the parent know what's happening. There are some states that will even take children from other states to help them change gender without their parents' consent. This is total madness. And it all, in my opinion, it has its roots in the fact that as a country, we no longer teach history. The Bill of Rights is a good example. There are so many people today in the United States that do not see the value of having human rights and freedom of thought. And how can we expect them to have it when we have a system that is so divided that we have one side of the political spectrum telling everyone that the other side has no right to their thoughts or their beliefs or their teachings? This is madness. This is already starting to creep in to our culture with its anti-Christian bent. I just read again that there was a state that ordered a hospital to remove, the Catholic hospital, to remove the votive lamp burning next to their tabernacle in their chapel because it was a, quote, fire hazard. Lucky enough, a very well-respected attorney came to their defense and wrote a letter letting the state know that if you follow through with this, you will personally be responsible for over 100,000 people having no medical coverage, the poor, the elderly, the disenfranchised, the homeless, that this Catholic hospital was taking care of. And finally, the state backed down. The fact that we could even have this discussion is amazing to me. When I look at the damage that we have done as a country to our children, not raising them in the Christian faith, not gathering our children together on a Sunday morning to go for Sunday worship, letting them be on their own. If they want to choose to go to church, they can choose at some point in their life. But I'm not going to encourage it because I don't want to foist anything on my children. I want them to be free. This is damaging to the child. Children need their parents to be parents. Children need to have limitations set of what they can and can't do, or how late they can be out. It's getting to the point where I think that as Christians, we need to consider that maybe having our children in public schools is a bad idea. Maybe we should start classical schools connected with our parishes, or start homeschooling. Anything to bring our children into the reality that our forefathers fought for. The Revolutionary War and the Civil War come to mind. And yet I know that in Portland, Oregon, in the park blocks where I used to live, a statue of Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt on horseback were both pulled down off their pedestals by nutcases who have no understanding about American democracy and American history. And they saw these two as enemies. And they removed their statues, which is essentially what the Soviets did with statues of emperors. It's madness. We need to stand firm in our Christian faith, and we need to be bold in our display of our faith. We need to stand for Christ, and we need to protect our children. May God give us the strength.
Both now and ever, and unto the ages of ages. Amen. Only begotten Son and immortal Word of God,